see the flag up there, the Union Jack flag, which means King Charles is not here this morning. Yeah, if he were in residence, it would be a different flag called the Royal Standard. Are you familiar with that one? It's a flag split into 4 quadrants. It's yellow, it's blue, it's got red lions on it, and that's the flag that flies wherever he happens to be. But if you look top middle, you'll see the triangular pediment, and if you follow down to the bottom of the columns, you can see the balcony where they stand and wave at us now and again. Yeah. So the last balcony appearance, as it's referred to, was just 3 weeks ago for what is normally the biggest date in the royal calendar in London, called Trooping the Colour, to mark the monarch's coronation. Yeah? May the 6th last year, after Charles and Camilla's coronation, they were brought back to the palace in the gold state coach, and the balcony appearance wearing their kind of respective crowns. And then in June 2022, we had a lot of different events in London to commemorate the late Queen Elizabeth's Platinum Jubilee, the 70th anniversary of her reign. This was only a few months before she died, so she only made one brief public appearance, and that was an appearance up in the balcony for the Royal Air Force fly past. So really this is the focal point for all the big events that take place. When the Queen's funeral procession left the Abbey, it came down the Mall. So you'll see that street running off in the distance. That's the Mall leading down to Trafalgar Square. So her funeral procession came down the Mall towards where we're standing, through where we're standing, and then if you look to the right at the palace, that's the street that leads up to the Wellington Arch that we just drove past. Yeah? So 1.3 mile long funeral procession. Now, just on this side of the palace, that's Green Park. If you remember, we drove up Piccadilly, that's on the other side of Green Park. And those beautifully decorated gates are the Canada Gates. We have a Canadian War Memorial set just inside Green Park. And then on this side, the park stretching all the way down is St James. So the Mall kind of runs between the two parks all the way down to Trafalgar Square. Now, you can see we've got a couple of guards on duty in their sentry positions at the back of the forecourt. They do 2 hours on, 4 hours off, so they have a guard room at the back. And when we have a changing of the guard, which is not every morning, the whole detail, around 20 guards and an equal number of band members, at 11 o'clock in the morning, when we have a changing of the guard, they leave the Wellington Barracks, which is the white building behind the trees in the distance there, and march through here into the forecourt of the palace, and then at about 11:35 the old guards march back. Yeah, so now, when you're looking at the palace itself, we have over 750 rooms that make up the palace. Yeah, and I'm sure there's parts of it the Queen never saw, you know, when she was here. And just to the left of the balcony is what's called the Crimson Room, and that's the room that the Queen always chose when her portrait was being painted. So 70 years on the throne, she was painted 38 times. So just imagine how many hours that was up in the crimson. And she always chose that room because she could look through the windows to see what was going on, yeah, out here on the Mall. Now, back in February, someone in their infinite wisdom decided to crash their car through the gates. I mean, it wasn't a terrorist-related incident, you know, and but they're still trying to fix them, I guess, several months on. Now, the